Today on the show, we welcome one of the UK's most exciting and hard-working independent acts in the blues rock scene. Hailing from Essex, England, When Rivers Meet is the powerhouse husband and wife duo of Grace and Aaron Bond. Since forming in 2016, they've carved their own path without major label support, touring in a camper van, captivating audiences with raw, gritty blues, soaring vocals, and thunderous guitar riffs that blend rock, Americana, and folk. Grace's powerful, soulful voice paired with Aaron's rich harmonies and slide guitar has earned them multiple UK top 10 albums and a devoted global following. Get ready for an intimate conversation about life on the road, their independent hustle, and their latest music.
You ever notice how many financial advisors are out there? Trying to decide which one you want to go to give them your hard-earned money to reach your financial possibilities? It's a difficult decision, but let me help you out. My good friend David Smith with Edward Jones, who, by the way, just earned the #1 ranking among 23 advice-based wealth management firms in the J.D. Power 2026 U.S. Investor Satisfaction Study. David has 20-plus years of working with people just like you, helping you reach your financial possibilities. As a financial advisor for my wife and I, he's done exceptionally well. I wouldn't be recommending him if I didn't think he'd help you reach your financial possibilities. So it's quick, easy. Just make a quick phone call if you're anywhere in the continental United States. Hit 469-372-1587, 469-372-1587. Give David a call and learn how you can reach your financial possibilities. David works for the #1 company in America, and he's #1 with my wife and I. David Smith with Edward Jones, your next financial advisor. 469-372-1587. Give him a call today. I notice in all the stuff that you talk about being self-managed, independent.
Yeah, fully
and
independent.
We know what the record industry is like. There is no records anymore. In fact, speaking of that, a blues artist I interviewed about a month or 6 weeks ago, he's still waiting on his vinyl. I noticed that you guys were excited about your vinyl already sold out, but he still can't get them. So it seems to be that. But tell me why. I mean, I know why it's important to you, but why is it important to tell people about that? You think that you're self-managed and you're not with a label?
I think a lot of that is because being in the music industry is a tough job in itself.
Right.
And I think as well, because we like to shout about it, is because everything that we do and every choice that is made by us. Everything literally, like the vinyl, like all the artwork, all the music, everything that we do, we're fully in control of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's massively important nowadays for people to understand that. I say understand, but I think when you sign for a label, for instance, you kind of give a lot of that control away, if not all of it. And not necessarily the artist has the decisions to be made, and that's a real shame. So it's kind of I think it's kind of a cool thing to shout about.
I agree with you. 40%, the last time I saw this, 40% of the music released is independent artists now.
Yeah.
And my personal opinion about it, I know people are on labels. I know people that want to go on labels. I know a lot of people like you don't want to be involved with labels at all. And
well, I mean, we've had labels come to us.
Oh, I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Turned down, but it was more of a case of literally that they want everything, and it's like we weren't prepared to let everything go. I think if the deals would be fairer to the artists, I think there'd be a lot more people signing deals, but they don't seem to be. So
Well, I think they've gotten worse.
yeah.
At least when you had product to sell, you can negotiate with that.
Mm.
In my day, if you sold a million records, you got a gold record. Well, no, it's a platinum. You might make 300,000, 200,000 pounds. I don't know what is a lot of money.
Mm.
Now you don't make that, so you have to, you have to go on tour all the time and release it. So, but I think they're making a mistake, and the mistake is the people that I've known that have talked about it recently about the deals they're making. They're not very good. They want to
Standard,
and I
yeah.
mean, I guess they
Standard
do have the
deals.
money behind them to book you. In other words,
Yeah,
if you want to go, they say, I want to tour the United States, they can find
yeah.
the places for you to book. And because I know it takes, I don't, probably both of you, and I know you got one person because whoever I emailed back and forth, it
Yeah.
takes a tremendous amount of time to keep going. I mean, you have a pretty interesting website.
Mm.
You got Instagram, all that other stuff. That keeps a lot of work.
Yeah.
I know that. And then
Yeah, for sure.
you got a blog in there too.
Mm.
So it's like maybe we'll get to play some music eventually.
Yeah. I must admit, it is tough to keep up with, and since we've had our little baby over the last few weeks, we feel like we've stepped off the gas a little bit on that regard, and we need to step back up again. It is 24/7, to be fair, but that's the nature of it, and it's a proof that you can actually do it if you really want to, But you have to wear different hats. You can't just be the artist, shall we say? You
No.
have to be the other side of things as well. If you're prepared to do that, then everything's available to you.
Well, I think only if you're an A-lister and have been doing it for a long time, you have enough people to do it that you have enough money, you don't care,
Yeah, it's true.
and then you just go, well, okay, where are we going this time? Okay, what hotel am I staying in? Okay, good, and whatever. The one thing I didn't notice was, and I'd read some information about both of you. What's your blues roots? Because obviously that's what you like, that kind of music.
Yeah.
And I'd ask both of you the same thing. What did you
Yeah.
listen to? Who did you listen to start thinking, man, I want to do what they do? Who's kind of the artist that you lean on a lot?
My very first CD was John Lee Hooker.
Uh,
Literally, my very first CD. Well, it was John Lee Hooker and Iron Maiden. So it was like a combination. So I'm very much into the blues and the rock side of things. Always have been, and it was I forget when it was exactly, but as soon as I heard "Boom Boom Boom," the riff, I was like,
oh yeah,
"Oh, what is this?" It was like, and I had to have it, And yeah, so that was my first influence into the blues, and then I discovered like Muddy Waters, Manish Boy, another one of my favorite tracks of all time. And then get into Robert Johnson and people like that, and really delve into it all. So, and the blues side of things, yeah, John Lee Hooker was my very, very first, should we say, introduction into the blues. And Grace would have been Bonnie Raitt. I Love Me Like a Man. That was the song that really
oh yeah,
nailed her into the blues. So,
yeah.
yeah,
And I have to admit this because I'm a blues guy. Of course, I'm a Texas guy, so obviously we have a little bit of that roots here. But
yeah,
I got all mine from your side of the pond, and that was from the Stones.
yeah,
When I heard Little Red Rooster,
yeah,
and I
man.
went, what is this?
Yeah,
And started listening to it, and then I started picking up more of that, kind of vibe.
yeah,
And Willie Dixon and all those great artists back then. Um, and then I started studying it, and so many people that come out of the age, some of them are older than me, they were affected hugely by the blues, American blues,
for
and
sure.
that's what carried a lot of them. When did you guys get together and start putting the music together?
So we've been together as a couple for 22 years, and
Okay.
we actually met in a rock pub, which was my local at the time. And
What part of England do you live in?
so at the moment we're Essex. We're based in
Okay.
Essex,
Okay.
which is just about an hour north east of London.
Right.
But originally I'm from Norfolk, which is the countryside, which is another couple of hours north from where we are now. And same with Grace as well. She's Cambridgeshire, so just on the border of Norfolk. So we got together, like I say, 22 years ago. Grace was in numerous types of bands, country bands, blues bands, Meatloaf tribute band, things like that.
No, that's
awesome.
Funny.
And then I was in a couple of rock bands, just like local stuff, nothing in particular. And we're doing our own things. And it wasn't until we moved down to Essex about 16 years ago, we decided to, well, maybe we should do something together. We never even thought about it before.
That's funny.
And it was kind of weird. And I started playing acoustic fingerpick guitar because I was a vocalist before that. So I was playing fingerpick guitar, started doing that. And then Grace was playing mandolin and fiddle. So, but we fell into like the folk Americana kind of scene. And it was kind of cool. And we was writing that sort of music, but we were doing like function stuff as well. And we were getting more kicks out of that than we were what we were writing. So there was something wrong. We happened to be at a Guns N' Roses concert in London. And I think it was 2018. And Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown were his support act, one of the support acts. And they did, I forget the song now, but it was a blues number. Mojo Working. They were covering Mojo Working. And as soon as that started, our eyes just lit up. And Grace literally stood there, stood up in the crowd, going, this is what we should be doing. So, So then a few days later, I went and bought a Gibson Les Paul and a slide. And that's where it started. So, yeah.
So you guys had both of you started fairly young, playing. When did you start playing guitar? How old were you?
I was late. Starting, to be fair. Grace can play everything from the age of 1.
One of those people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I was a vocalist. I was a vocalist.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did say that earlier.
Yeah, I didn't really play instruments. So I was quite late starting, to be fair. And, it's kind of cool, but like when you've got like the vocals together, it kind of worked, but I needed to play guitar basically. And she needed to play fiddle and mandolin because that's what she was doing. So, it kind of, like I say, went down that route. And it was kind of nice, actually, because the way it sorted itself out in its own way, whereas I was playing guitar and a kick drum, and then Grace came along with this resonator mandolin, right?
Yeah.
Told it, stick a slide on that. So she's sticking a slide on it, and it's like, oh, my God, there's some great sounds coming out of that. And everything was so bluesy, and it was great, yeah. So that's how it kind of all started around.
What do you think is, if somebody came up to you and said, Aaron, why are you successful? What do you think takes to be successful in the blues type of music? In the UK. Obviously I've read all this stuff about how well you guys are doing. You got a good gig going on there. But what do you think the magic sauce is? Obviously she's a great singer. For sure. That takes a lot, but still you can have great singers and not go anywhere. So what do you think was the kind of a magic sauce for you guys?
I think authenticity. Literally be yourself and write the music that you care about. And, and I think because, like I say, when we were doing that other stuff, it wasn't authentic to us. Even though it was nice stuff and we were writing it, and we couldn't understand why it wasn't really resonating with us. It wasn't really resonating with other people. We didn't quite understand that. And because we wasn't being authentic to ourselves. Right. And we were trying to play music or push music out that we weren't all that sure about to people. Well, people are going to pick that up, and they did. Yeah. And when the telltale sign was we did a blues festival up in Norfolk, near Norwich. And the main band were inside, and we were outside. So this was back in 2019. So we was like just a duo, well, still a duo, but playing as a duo. And there was no one out there. And we started playing. Within 3 songs, the place was absolutely heaving and packed. And it was like people were resonating to the sound.
Yeah.
And it's like we just looked at each other. This is amazing. What's going on? And it's just literally because I think we were being authentic. And this is we were loving it. Everyone else was loving it. So yeah, that's what I would think.
Well, I think great thing about your country is there's so many places that you could play. I know it sounds silly. I'm talking to you from Dallas, Texas, but you have a lot of festivals and things that you don't have to go far to do.
No, that's right.
And we Americans get a little jaded with our music even. So to me, and when you say authentic, people are looking for that. That had to be a really cool moment for you when you look around and go, why are all
Yeah,
these people here? And then
yeah,
they're like, wait a minute, they're here to see us.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, it was a magical moment, and it really, for us, it was like the defining moment that we thought the music that we're writing now is, you know, the thing we've hit on. This is our special sound, shall we say? So yeah, it was
Well,
it was
and the
kind of
thing about it is, since I produce my own music too, is I've said to myself, you have nobody to blame. If you take this risk and do everything, write the songs, go to the studio, pay for the studio, record it, whatever, put it out, ain't nobody to blame for it except you.
yeah,
So you can't blame anybody else for it. So it's really, I always say, I always tell them the same thing: stick your butt out and let's see if people will kick it or not. You
yeah,
know, and so that's the other thing. And I believe you probably are more critical yourselves
mm,
than you are from other people, because a lot of people want to give you lip service. But
mm.
also, how many albums have you brought? I know the new one's coming out this month,
Yeah.
correct? The end
This
of
will be
this
the
month?
sixth one. Yeah, this will
The
be the sixth
sixth?
album. Yeah, in since 2020. Yeah,
Okay.
so pretty much an album a year.
So I know the answer to this, but I want to ask you anyway. How much do you think you've improved in your songwriting and recording techniques?
Uh, that's a difficult one actually, because I think it's like anything, isn't it? The more you do it, the better you should be.
Yep.
So, and I look back at like some of the songs we wrote back in 2019, and I still love them. But whether they're technically as good, I would say no. But there's just something about them that is just like, wow, that still
Oh,
stands
sure.
up
It's a
with.
little bit raw. It's more raw. It's more
Yeah,
raw.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now, when you sit down and write a song, you have more thought process in it. It may
yeah,
come up with a riff and go through it, but then you're like, okay, now we got to do this and that, because you already know you also know your sound.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
agree with you. I did an
Yeah.
album several years ago, and I had some good tunes on it, but I'm not
Mm,
proud of the production on it. So
mm,
it's the same thing.
yeah,
Now, when I come out with stuff, I always figure if I'm not getting better every time I do it, then I need to quit.
yeah.
I don't know if getting better, but just more solid. You
Yeah,
know.
that, and I think not staying the same the whole time.
Yeah.
So for us, every album is very different in the regard of like recording techniques, production, all those different things. Whether it be more production, less production, different types of production, and it's kind of like we always feel that we are in the moment of that album, and we wouldn't
I
like
agree.
say yeah, we wouldn't say go back and then re-record them or whatever else to make them better, because that's where we were at the time, and
Hmm.
that's kind of like where the memories were, and the stories that we're telling at the time, and so it's kind of nice. I suppose I just think like what you're saying with the Rolling Stones, and they're going to go back to the sound that they had back in the '60s, say early '60s, and revisit that kind of sound that they did. Probably their techniques would be completely different recording now to what they were back then, but it's still going to be great. Like for them, it's going to be great, isn't it? Because it's like, yeah, it's
Well, think about it. They get the
exactly,
best producers, the best place to record,
yeah,
you know, and you got artists that have been doing this for 60 some years.
yeah,
It's almost like, is it too simple for us? But then you realize, like, that's why we play the blues. It's not
yeah,
complicated. It's not
yeah,
complicated.
and it shouldn't be.
No.
It definitely shouldn't be complicated, because I feel the blues is emotion. And if you can portray that emotion in those songs, and if that resonates with other people, that's what it's about. We wrote this album and recorded it last year whilst we were on tour. So every time, well, I say whilst we were on tour, when we weren't on tour, the days off, we were recording,
Studio.
writing and recording, exactly. So we were either playing live or we're in the studio. And this February, because we had our little baby on the way.
By the way, congratulations! Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Thank you. We've got this cabin in the garden. It's like a big shed, really, and and we just, because Grace couldn't really go anywhere because she was so heavily pregnant in February.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we got our producer around and our drummer, and we just sat around writing songs. So we've already got pretty much the next album on the way.
I know, it's funny, isn't it?
Nothing released yet. So we've already. I mean, it's not finished. They're just a lot of good ideas and lots of them. And it's just I don't think the next album will take too long to record.
So when you go out, you obviously only do you do mostly your music, all of it your music? I assume you do a few covers because of the blues background, or do you do any covers at all?
No, when we go out, we don't tend to. When we went out as a duo, we did. We covered a few songs, but mostly, no. Generally, as a band, we don't. When we go out as a full band, we literally stick to our own music, which I suppose, I don't know, we could introduce some covers. We've not really thought about it that much. I know we actually briefly spoke about it last year where we could chuck a couple in, but that's not happened yet. So whether it will, I don't know. But I mean, we've got such a back catalogue now of songs.
I was going to say you could probably play for a long time.
Yeah. So we've got 6 albums worth now. So whether we ever will chuck any covers in, maybe, I don't know. But it'd be cool to do.
Now you've been doing it for a while. How is it going with the crowds? Do they know what you're doing? I mean, not obviously. You go to a festival, people may not even know who you are, or they do know, or whatever. Yeah. Have you found that they listen and they go, "Oh, I know that tune," or "I want to sing along with that tune"? Have you gotten that point in your career where it's happening for you?
Yeah, well, it's quite funny actually, because it was on the very first tour back in 21. We were in Nottingham, which is like Rock City of England, basically. And it was in this little bar. It was about 300 cap. So it was at 250, 300, something like that. So it was quite cramped, And we were playing one of our songs. I think it was either Tomorrow or one of the others, one of the slow ballady ones. And literally, we got it because we recorded it as well. We videoed it. And literally, Grace just pulled her mic away and she was in tears because everybody was singing the words back to us. And it was like, holy crap. This is literally, we've only just come out on tour, like for the first time. So, so it's pretty cool. And there's a lot of songs that we do that really touch people. So it's really nice and it resonates with them. And when they're singing the lyrics back to you, it's like, that's just something.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable. Yeah. And you can't explain this to people that are not musicians or creative people. You can't understand it. And I mean, if you try to explain to them, I don't know, what are you getting excited about? They're singing my song. They know the words to my song, literally. Yeah. And you're like, okay, that's cool, but no, you don't understand.
Yeah. It's like showing someone your baby, isn't it? And saying, my baby's gorgeous. And then that person saying, yes, your baby is really gorgeous. Basically, that's kind of what they're saying.
That's a good analogy. You're right. It's a good analogy. You're exactly right. Because one of the things we all do is we want people to like our music, but we also know on the other side of it, not everybody's going to like our music.
Exactly.
So,
but that's cool as well. That's cool
I mean, you've got such a deep catalog that you can pick and choose. You've already done it long enough. Now, obviously, you're going to promote the new LP, the new album, but you already know what people are going to like.
Yeah.
You already know what most likely you're going to finish up with. You're already going to probably know what to start with. You know what's going to be in between because you already know what they're going to like when you finish.
Yeah. I think as well, do you mean recording the album or do you mean playing it live?
No, I'm playing it live.
Oh, playing it live.
I mean, in other words, when you walk on stage because you've done it so long now, not really a long time, but long enough to know, what people are going to like. Because every crowd's going to be a little different, but you also know what they all do, what they all like. They want to hear this song or they want to hear that song. Yeah.
I mean, we do have certain songs that if we put a poll out, for instance, saying what songs should we play on this tour, obviously we're going to play the whole entirety of this new album.
Sure.
And then people will be coming up with things like, oh, you got to play Free Man, or you got to play Did I Break the Law, or you got to play Tomorrow, or you got to play Dead Man Doesn't Lie, that sort of thing. And it's just like, oh, yes. And you get that a lot, so which is really cool. I mean, the odd time you get an obscure one, but generally it's the same ones that everybody, like how they found us to start with, like Free Man or Tomorrow, for instance. And it's like, oh, I just want to hear that song. I suppose we'd be the same if we went to see somebody, and I don't know, someone like God, who you think, like the Rolling Stones say, and you want them to play Red Rooster, for instance. You want to hear that song, don't you?
I remember Mick Jagger said decades ago he didn't want to be an old man singing Satisfaction. And I thought,
really?
well, I mean, I read that years ago. I mean, it was decades ago. And he goes, I don't want to be doing that. And then it's like, what's always in your show? It's like, well, that's what people want to hear. It's
Exactly.
like, and have you ever, here's the other question I've had or have. Do you have people come up to you after the show and say how far they traveled to come see you? Have you had that happen yet?
Yeah, for sure.
Is that an amazing thing when that happens to you?
It's crazy because we get contacted by people, and sometimes we chat out who's traveled the furthest kind of thing, and then people will be like, I've come from America, or in different states of America, for instance, and then you get people come from Eastern Europe or something like that. You think, oh my God, these people have traveled so far, just to come and see us. I mean, obviously our country's quite small, but even like for us, it's like if you've got someone, we got some amazing supporters from Scotland.
I was going to say Scotland, or even if they came over from Ireland, Ireland.
Yeah. Scotland and Ireland, they'll come over to England, and they'll come down south all the way. They'll fly down to, I mean, that's pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think those things happen to you that keeps you going.
Yeah.
It is creative process is bizarre. We all know that recording can be boring to some people and all that stuff. You're making it. Then when you're finished, you're going, okay, I'm happy with that. But when people travel distances and come up and say, like you said, your baby is beautiful. It is a gorgeous baby. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay, I guess we can keep going now. It's one of those things. Well, I have to ask because I want to know. And I know how difficult it is. When are you thinking about you're ever going to come on this side? Coming over here? I know it's difficult with the visas and all that stuff, but...
For sure. Well, we came out 3 years ago, and we played in Omaha, which was amazing. We had some lovely people invite us over, and actually we're meeting up with them again in a couple of weeks' time. They're coming over here, and we're going to try and get back over next year. So, but hopefully some other places as well as Omaha. So, with a bit of luck, because we can't wait. I mean, we had such a blast when we came over. I can't tell you. It's like it was a festival, like 5,000 people, something like that, and we didn't know how our music was going to go down. It's like nobody knows who we are. And is it going to go well? We don't know. And I can honestly tell you that people seem to love it, which was really, really good, because by the time we got to the merch desk, it had all gone.
Poor baby.
I know. It's like, what? It was just crazy. And like so many people wanted to come and see us, and it was amazing. And I can't honestly tell you how grateful we were when we went over there, that everybody was so supportive and so welcoming. It was like, that's just crazy,
Well, I think the thing about it, if you haven't figured it out by Americans, all you got to do is talk to them, and they'll sit there and listen to your British accent. Like that.
Yeah, probably say, what did he say?
Now you have a baby.
Yeah, I know.
And that's going to be, who's going to be the nanny on the road? You taking a nanny with you?
Well, our tour manager, his wife.
Okay.
We actually met. We've known her for a while, but we had a meetup on Monday, and we asked her if she'd fancy doing it, and so she looks like she will. So that's really cool, and she's lovely. We've known them for about 3 or 4 years now, something like that. So because we were we did have our eyes on someone else to do it to start with, but unfortunately you couldn't do it for personal reasons. So it was a bit like, oh, what are we going to do? So, yeah. That's
well, do you take a band with you? You travel with a band? Are you guys people that join? It's your band.
Yeah.
So do you hire musicians to come and play with you, perform? So what do you bring in with you? Obviously a bass player, a drummer. Do you have a keyboard player?
Yeah. We go out on this new tour. We're going out as just a trio. So it'll just be myself, Grace, and our drummer.
Okay.
But our producer usually plays bass when he goes as a 4-piece or a 6-piece. And then we bring in another guitarist who's a complete shredder, and a keys player who's phenomenal. So we go out. Last tour we went out as a 6-piece. So
when do you actually start the tour?
Yeah, so the tour starts on July 23rd.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's a couple of months yet. But our album is on pre-order right now, and it's going to be released on the 29th of May. So we're really excited about that. Rhythm, Rust and Static, our new album. And then we'll be touring that, like I say, in July, August time. So it's going to be good.
Well, I'm sure you're itching to go because you got new music.
Yeah.
That must have been kind of cool to see that your vinyl is already pre-sold out.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, really. So it takes around 3 to 4 months to get the vinyl. And then when we put the pre-order up to watch the different variants go, because we have about 3 or 4 different variants of the vinyl. That obviously the sound is all the same, but the artwork's different, or the vinyl's different, colors, different types of splatter and all sorts. To see that go is just like, wow, that's incredible. See, people say that vinyl and CDs are dead, but I disagree.
I just think it's really cool when I see independent, and I read all the stuff, and I see independent artists like you doing so well. Because I think, well, first off, you're doing the kind of music I like.
That's always a bonus.
That's always a bonus. Let's get down to some nitty-gritty here before I hang up.
Yeah.
What do you run through when you're playing on stage? What's your amp?
So I've got a Marshall and a Fender, but we just go through the front of house at the moment. We're not actually using the amps strictly because of space in our trailer and things like that. So so we're actually just going through the PA now. It's all done through the mixing desk and through the pedals that we have. So I had a Helix floor to start with.
Okay.
Well, before that I had all pedals and then amps. Then we got rid of all that. I still got them.
No, you won't get rid of them. You'll just keep them.
Get rid of them. But now we've got a quad Cortex because the other band members have got quad Cortex, and they say that it'll be easier for the front of house, plus it's easier for traveling and whatever else. And I think a lot of people are going down that route here. I don't know about the States, but for sure here people are going more down the technological route because it's just easier. And you
don't need to bring a triple stacks of double stack Marshalls anymore because the house equipment is so good.
Yeah.
And do you guys use monitors, or in the ear, or do you use monitors?
In ears. Yeah. Again, it's an easier thing. You get the constant sound from pretty much every venue. Then otherwise you have to, if you don't take your own equipment, you have to rely on the venues, and sometimes the venues equipment aren't as good as you need them to be.
Have a good summer, my friend. Good luck on the album. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Well, that's it for this episode of The Trout Show. Thank you so much for stopping by and listening to my interview with Aaron with When Rivers Meet. What a fantastic duo they are, and they're kicking big butt over there in the UK with their blues music. Doing very, very well, and I appreciate him coming on the show and talking to me. For more information about When Rivers Meet, go to their Instagram site. That way it's easier to find everything you need to know about them. All the links and everything are right there. And it's just when rivers meet, and you can find everything you need to know about them. Thanks again, Aaron, for coming on the show. For more information about The Trout Show, you know where to find it. Just go to thetroutshow.com. All my podcasts and all my interviews are right there. My music's right there. And believe me, we have some fantastic guests coming up in the next few weeks. So stay tuned and be ready. So until next time, people, you know what I always say. It's only rock and roll. But I love it. See ya!